Hello, we're here. We're playing Vampire the Masquerade with a new overlay that our good old man Dimitri made. Thank you so much for the sweet overlay as well as the starting soon screen that you came up with. I appreciate it. It looks very, very good.
No problem.
Um, if you guys want to go ahead and introduce who you're playing as and what clan you guys are from, we'll go ahead and get to a recap and get started on what happened last time.
I'm Justin. I'm playing Dmitry Ivanov, a Ventru.
I'm Hannah, and I'm playing Eva Hill, a person or vampire kindred from the Bruja clan.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and we are missing a Carter, but he is on vacation this week. We're gonna dock his pay at 1 full %. But other than that, um, last time we had a little bit of an interesting session to say the least. Um, Eva, you went ahead and had a interesting shift at the sidelines while Dimitri and Carter had a very interesting conversation about chicken wings, um, and what exactly all the hype is about. Um, as you guys were sort of waiting for some information to come through on exactly what was going on here, based off the prince asking you guys to find some information on the anarchs in this portion of the state, you guys were also tasked with trying to see if you're able to figure out an easier way on figuring out how many of these anarchs are thin bloods. Um, you guys did see quite a few people. Eva, you saw some familiar faces from the night prior. Excuse me. And you guys tailed them through as you guys joined this long carpool of anarchs as you guys continued through, trying to see where they're heading to. And you guys turned around as you guys began to get closer and closer to their uh, barn that they were having this rant and rave in. Some supplies and or explosive were purchased depending on your perspective. I believe it was like 15 propane tanks and like 5 to 7 things of gasoline were purchased. Um, and as you guys got back to the barn, Eva was able to go ahead and do a nice, good old fashioned blink next to the barn and then turned invisible to just start listening in on what the conversation was being had. While this was going on, Carter was getting ready to get out of the truck and into position as Dimitri started taking these propane tanks and started lining them underneath vehicles. And then also getting the gasoline and connecting pretty lines that go from point A to point B. Um, and right before we ended our session, Eva, you heard a loud scream, some cracking sounds. The screaming stopped, and you heard someone yell, "Enough!" Let's get in order as uh, yep. Baron Joshua had some information to go over. And that is where we are picking up going into this night. I'm getting the rulebook pulled up here for you guys as well. Or at least for me, I should say. So I can see exactly how willpower is provided back to everyone. I don't think anyone took any sort of damage last episode, so that is a very good for you guys. But I'm getting this pulled up.
It's on 157.
Oh my goodness, you are a lifesaver. $157. This makes me wish that I had the book from time to time instead of just a PDF. I know I control F, but it's still sort of difficult sometimes. Alright, recovering willpower. You can remove an amount of superficial damage to your willpower or composure or resolve. Or up to your composure or resolve using the highest from your willpower track. So every time you use a point of willpower, you're technically taking a point of superficial willpower damage. So you're able to gain back up to composure or resolve, whichever one is higher, back worth of willpower. Eva, I believe you used a couple points of willpower.
I think I used one.
Okay, and I'm sure that your composure or resolve is greater than 1. So you should be back at full willpower. Dimitri, did you use any willpower last session?
Negative.
Okay, perfect. So you are also at full willpower. Sorry, 1 second. I don't want to have the dogs just barking over. Dimitri, is there anything you would like to do prior to me go ahead and starting to do a little monologue while Eva is lurking in the background of this, or right behind this barn, listening in?
I would just kind of keep up with the same routine, kind of spreading out the propane tanks and gasoline as far as I could, just in case.
Okay. Are you wanting to use all 15 propane tanks and all 5 things of gasoline?
Probably don't need to use all the gas. Mostly I'm just trying to get the, a line poured to the propane tanks in case. But
Sure.
So I'll use as much gas as necessary. If possible, get all 15 distributed.
Yeah.
While I'm doing that, I'm also snapping photos of license plates.
Okay. Easy enough to do that. You're able to get ahead and definitely get all 15 set up, and more or less it's just it going and putting it either sideways or standing up on edge or whatnot, and having a gasoline that you're literally going through from pouring, dropping gas or propane pouring. You get all 15, and you probably go through 3 of the 5 containers of gasoline. So that means you have 2 left before being completely out. Eva, at this time, I need you to roll Wits plus Awareness. I know it's a big fan of your dice pool, but I need you to roll that for me, please. Very well done. 50-50, as is tradition for Eva. All right. You do hear everyone who was decently loud begin to quiet down inside. Dimitri, you were a bit further away, but you could still hear like the loud music as well as the muffled talking as soon as the music began to die down. And you were able to go ahead and no longer really hear anyone else talking. But Eva, you're able to hear a single voice sort of pop up and speak. Thank you for coming to our rant and rave. If it wasn't so dire, then I wouldn't have called it. But this is something that we dramatically need to have concern about. There's been evidence that the Camarilla is starting to move their grasp out a little bit. They're trying to take hold in places where they have no claim to, even though they believe that they do up in that ivory tower of theirs. What that means is if you see anyone that is Camarilla, kill on sight. We do not need anyone running around and deciding to declare praxis and taking over more and more of our territory. We are the unbound. We are everything that the Ivory Tower decides to hold down. They blamed Prague on us. They blame all the other Inquisition incidences on us. But we will not allow this to stand. So, we're going to take a page out of their book, and we can consider any Camarilla kindred blood hunted in our domain. Now, as even they have standards, the only place we will not attack will be Elysium. They have strict rules, as they will not attack going in, going out. And we can at least offer them a chance to do the same. The Gangrel Prince hungers for more, hungers for growth. But there's whispers of some elders deciding to move westward, even out of the states. Be prepared. If he moves, we take over Indianapolis. We take back our home. And you begin to hear a lot of kindreds scream and chant and overall just rally behind what Baron Joshua is saying. As their Baron begins to sort of pace back and forth, and even though you're invisible, you obviously can see sort of a portion of the room, not the entire room because of where you're standing, but a good portion of it. As you do see Baron Joshua in a very nice suit. But it does have a rather large tear going down the front of it. We've received word of this through my sire. He is from the Camarilla, but he believed he owed me one final thing. That was a warning. So, that being said, and he sort of claps his hand, and a female, looks to be maybe mid to late 20s, walks forward. I'm sure you guys know Miss Wyatt. She is being promoted to my second in command, my enforcer, if you will. I personally wouldn't want to get on her bad side, but if you feel like testing her, be my guest. And one last thing. There's some decent movement going on in other parts of the states, but specifically LA. LA has quite a bit of anarch movement going through in the Anarch Free State. If we can get rid of these White Tower individuals, I believe that Baron Temple will be more than happy to make an appearance in our state and help us create another Anarch Free State. What that means, we're unsure going forward. but I can guarantee there will be more power to grab more area that needs to have barons, more titles that need to be given, more land that needs to be divided up. Era continues to cheer. He sort of throws his hands up in the air. Angela steps forward enough to be in view more fully. And she has like these tight black jeans on and some like almost like a tank top and a blue jean jacket, tons of piercings. And sort of just hands behind back, just sort of being very polite. You see her put a single fist up and say, "Business is concluded. Now let's rave." As you begin to see out of a cage in the corner where you couldn't see previously, as it's now being pushed out from behind some hay bales. Multiple people are inside of it as they begin to open it up, and Kindred sort of almost like just go to it like chum and water, and just begin to absolutely just shred these individuals inside of this cage while the music is turned up to 11.
So while the music is blasted, can I climb up the side and go on top of the roof?
It will break your invisibility.
That's fine.
Okay. Did you want to climb up or did you want to blink up?
I'll blink up just because.
Okay. I believe that does take a rouse check.
Yes.
So go ahead and roll one of those for me. Failed. Your hunger increases by 1 for the first time, I believe. I believe you're now sitting at hunger 1. You get up there, and even though you're not super hungry, you can instantly begin to smell just the blood, the aroma of blood fill from within the barn and roam outwards. And you just hear the beast, "Feast, feast, feast. You're going the wrong way," as you're jumped up and grabbed up and pull yourself up onto the top of this roof.
Okay. I'm gonna try to control that a little bit and not jump back down. And then can I look around the top of the roof and see if there's any holes in the roof?
Yeah. Easy enough where you won't have to roll like any sorts of wits and awareness because they do have music and lights underneath. And while you sort of look through, there does not seem to be any sort of holes or any access points in the top of the roof. You could probably make one by punching your way in, but there's not currently one that is there.
Is there big enough gaps between the roofing itself to
you sort
see
of
how many people or kindred there are down there? Or both?
Yeah. Let's see here. Go ahead and roll. Just a intelligence and wits roll for me, please. All right, 2 successes. It's sort of hard to tell because there are cracks in that are big enough to, but there's still planks in the way that you aren't able to get a accurate, like guaranteed count. But inside, kindred and non-kindred, you're counting 60. But you did know that there was roughly about 70 people at the bar prior that left. So you're looking at probably, you can see what's left, probably of 4 humans and another 53 kindred, which means there's probably about 10 kindred that you're unable to see.
Okay. Um, so at this point, it's just the music, and then nobody else is talking, correct?
Correct. Everyone's just dancing loud, dancing, screaming loud, just sort of enjoying their time, feasting and drinking and dancing.
Okay. So I'm gonna quietly climb back down.
Okay. Go ahead and roll. For that, let us go ahead and roll dexterity and athletics. Seems like a good one for you to roll. I think this might be actually what you're built for.
Yes, finally.
While you're climbing down, Dimitri, you feel a tap on the shoulder. You don't hear anyone walk up, but you feel a tap on the shoulder.
Okay. Turn around.
There is no one there.
I'll bend down like I'm going to tie my shoe.
Mhm.
Get a nice, good handful of dirt.
Okay.
And kind of spin in a circle, kind of scattering the dirt around, see if it hits anything.
Yeah. As you sort of throw this dirt up, making this sort of cloud as well as you sort of move in a very quick motion, the dust begins to rise and you can be seen an outline, a very faint outline of a rather, probably about 5'6" kindred that's invisible. And he sort of puts his hands up and becomes visible, excuse me, as an absolutely just hideous looking Nosferatu holding a knife in one hand. What are you doing, buddy?
I could ask you the same thing.
You see that he sort of begins to take his eyes off of you and looks down towards like where you were tying your shoe at and sees the propane tank that's underneath one of the cars.
Is that yours?
And he looks over to you. No, is that yours?
Nah, man, I was just strolling.
Roll manipulation plus.
Now we get my worst.
Exactly. Roll manipulation plus subterfuge. Thank you.
Okay, so that's just going to be a straight manipulation, which is terrible.
Where's Carter when you need him?
No.
Any kindred gets staked. It's on you. It's on him.
There we go. And 0. That would be no successes.
That is amazing. He takes a couple steps back. And as he does, that is, see, 1, 2, 3 dice versus 2 dice. That is not pretty. Versus Wits and Resolve, which is going to be
Oh.
roll 2d10. You see Carter just sort of look I think he will spend a willpower to reroll one of his dice. Yikes. The Nosferatu sort of stops for a second. Carter comes up and sort of walks out. Hey, forget you saw us, okay? And he looks over. The Nosferatu looks a little dazed and confused. What? And then begins to slowly back away and begin to walk towards the barn.
As he starts to back away, I want to use cloud memory myself.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and
He said, "Forget us."
forget. Go ahead and roll that cloud memory.
Okay. So that is charisma
Ooh.
plus dominate.
Yeah, it is.
So, and this, what do you choose?
I just
No,
do charisma, no secondary, and then add your dominate as your pool.
Gotcha. 2 successes.
2 successes to his. 2 successes. Tie goes to the active vampire, which would be you. So he stops, looks around. His eyes sort of flutter for a second, and begins to puts his knife away, and begins to walk back towards the party. And at this point, you can see off the barn, Eva is sort of climbing down, finding the correct foot placements off the backside. Before, I'm assuming, Eva, you're going to take a wide berth like you did on the way there, just taking the wide way around, heading back towards the group.
Yes.
Okay. And then go ahead and roll
Carter.
dexterity plus stealth for me while you're at it.
It's time to go.
Yeah, that was way too close. Way too close. Usually that works. That's all I'm saying. But we should definitely get going.
I'm very impressed. Pat him on the head.
He sort of looks. Where's Eva? Where's Eva? 1, 2, 2 successes. Okay. No one seems to have noticed you on your way back, Eva, as you took a wide enough area, almost hitting like the fence line that sort of encompasses this whole thing, and just sort of take it and walk all the way back, and you're able to find the vehicle that you guys took here.
Are Dimitri and Carter right there?
Yes, they're in the process of talking and getting into the truck as they begin to get ready, and you can see them literally just getting into the seats.
Okay. Dimitri, Carter, I got some information. I don't know how well it's going to be. Hopefully you guys did some more work than I did. Carter, you with those thin blood, whatever they are, and Dimitri, whatever it is you were doing with your plan. So, I don't know, are we getting out of here or are we sticking around?
So, what did they say?
Well, do you want to know here? Like, are we staying here? Is it safe? I don't know what happened over on this side.
Oh, nothing. Nothing
No,
happened?
no, nothing happened. It was cool as cucumber, as they used to say.
Carter make man go away.
Sure, yes. He is no longer here.
What man?
He was wandering around. One of the ones who is invisible.
Nosferatu.
Were there any more?
Well, I mean, this
So?
yeah, this one approached.
I mean,
Dimitri.
he was invisible. We didn't
Yeah.
even really see this guy.
Yeah, no, Dimitri is quick though. This guy is wise with the dirt play. That was impressive.
You are too kind, my friend.
I digress.
You guys have such an interesting relationship. Anyway, let's keep going on this.
We are bros.
Yeah. So Carter
really
begins
bad.
to like open up his book. Yeah.
So what'd they say?
Well, they basically want to kill. I'm gonna whisper us.
Want to kill us?
I mean, like us specifically, like the three of us, or like a wider version of us?
Both.
Oh.
Okay, Eva, I need you to crawl up here, please. You drive. I go sit in back.
We might die.
It's
Maybe
okay.
Carter needs to go in the back. I don't want to die. We already had this discussion.
Trust me, it's good if I'm in back. I'm going to sit in the back.
I mean, if are you unable to drive? Is that what I'm understanding? If so,
yeah,
I
will
can drive.
crash.
I can drive
I
if
mean-
you've not spent the time to learn.
No, why would I need to learn?
So you can. Never mind. He gets into the
have
the
people
gets into the driver's seat. Well, Dimitri, I'm assuming you're in your vehicle, correct? Is that this 4-door sedan? Is that your
Yeah,
kind?
4-door SUV. Yeah,
Okay.
it's an SUV.
SUV, perfect.
I'll pop the hatch and sit in the back.
Mhm.
I'll take one of those gallons of gas and start pouring it. Okay, drive.
Car just no just begins to pull out. It's instead of like one of the super fancy like just tearing tail as you guys begin to fly, he's slowly pulling it out and
Go slow. Yes, got to keep the stream
Yeah,
consistent.
yes, not because I am scared of yes, absolutely. And he just continues going until you eventually run out of that tank.
Yep, and I'll just put it beside me, and that's when I'll take my Zippo out.
Throw the Zippo and just slide it. In the rearview mirror, Eva, you can even see behind you. See this line of fire begin to and just go down the middle of the road, or the middle of your lane. Just go, and you see it go further. Dimitri, you also see it
Carter,
pick
now's
into.
the time to drive fast.
Oh, okay. It just starts going now, probably just a little bit past the speed limit. As you guys see the fire take a sharp right, go into a field, and then you just see a large explosion. And you can have like the shockwave. You can almost begin to feel it as it sort of 15 propane tanks sort of go off. The barn that it was next to begins to sort of catch fire as well. You can't see exactly from the like kindred or the people escaping perspective, but you can now see this large fireball as the whole area goes up in flames. You see,
yell
You want
back.
a war? We start the war.
I yell back. I thought that was Plan B.
No, it was always Plan A. I just made you feel comfortable.
oh, what? I thought that was playing like E. As he started driving, you can see like the SUV sort of wobble a little bit from the blast. So what? We need to figure something out because this is too much already. Where am I going? Am I going towards Indy? Am I?
Just away, get away.
I mean, I'm going away. I'm going away. And you guys are able to hop back. It's pretty close. You guys were able to hop back onto the interstate as Carter begins to at least head towards the direction of downtown. Whether or not you guys take it there, all the way there, but at least to get away from the scene, as it were.
I'm gonna pull my phone out and I'm gonna dial the number that I had stashed in Miles's pocket.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see if he picks up.
A third ring goes through, and he's, "Hello? Who is this?"
We didn't finish talking last time.
How did you? When? Where? What? First you come into my house, you leave your number on my.
If you don't want Bear and Joshua to think that you're responsible for this whole problem, that's how we knew about your little rant and rave. We followed you there. So I'd keep your mouth shut, and we're gonna meet and have a nice little conversation about how you're now my bitch. I'll be in contact.
Go ahead and roll. Charisma plus persuasion. and I will give you a bonus die for that as well, or 2 bonus dies because of the scene you created, as well as your past experience with this poor Miles guy. Miles is just trying to live his best life, man, and you're just making sure
just
this guy doesn't get the
screwing everything up for this poor dude.
right.
That will be 5 successes.
Oh, we found your dice pool. With your 5 successes. All right. I will make a note. All right. Carter looks back. Is it more of your people you're calling?
No, I was calling the little vampire who we planted the phone on. I just made
Oh.
him feel as though he may be responsible for this whole mess. Now he will be my bitch and tell me everything I want to know about the Thin Bloods and Better Johnson and all this stuff. It's good.
That yes, very, very, very good. Should I keep going back to the Prince's Sanctuary, or should I go somewhere else? I think we're safe from that back there.
It sounds good.
Perfect. Are we needing to tell the Prince anything before we move on, or should we be on the same page? Should we just wait till we have the full piece of information so we're not wasting the Prince's time?
I would say at this juncture, we probably should talk with Miles before we talk with the Prince. I mean, this is me thoughts. I don't know.
It's, as of right now, I agree. I don't think we have a lot to go on besides the fact that we have a minor update that may or may not provide any information if this Miles character even lives past whatever you just did to them.
I'm all
Right.
for not going back, but why are we worried about wasting his time? It's more like wasting our time.
You have to play the game.
Yes, you know the game chess? Well, think of that. And we are the very small pawns that move one space at a time. It's not even the good move where you can move 2 on the first round. No. We, at best, go 1 forward. And, the Primogen, the council of the prince, that's like the bishop, the knight, the rook, right? And then
This
you
guy's
have...
such a nerd.
Agreed.
All right,
But,
and
maybe
it just
you two
keeps going. It's just
I think you two are the pawns. I don't really want to be a pawn in this game.
And why are you here?
That's a good question. I thought I was proving one thing, and apparently it's turned into this whole mission.
Welcome to the game.
Well, at least you two make it worthwhile.
I tried to make it fun, you know.
That's
Yeah, I saw the fun.
Carter just begins to continue driving on. You guys do make it to this circle, monument circle, where you guys go ahead and park the car. And you guys begin to head to the main monument. Rap on the door, and that security guard, very familiar, guides you down. And this time he just opens the door for you guys for the elevator, and allows you guys to go on your own. He stays at the top and just sort of lets you guys go down. But as you guys go down, you are able to once again sort of see this very large, open, grandiose, more or less waiting area before it splits into the different sections. There's quite a few individuals down here, roughly about 10 to 15 of them. None of the Primogen. No, Prince is not down here. Dimitri, you recognize quite a few of these, or at least 3 of these, or 4, excuse me, as your sire, as well as the 3 people who came with you, are sort of gathered in their little own clique, if you will, off to the side. Eva, next to the prince's door, the door to the secretary area, you see your sire sort of arms crossed, waiting next to the door.
I'll walk over to her.
Okay.
What are you doing here?
I think the prince is going to announce something. He called quite a few kindred, it looks like, to come meet, but are unsure what it is.
And everything's always urgent.
Sometimes.
Most of the time, seems like.
Yeah. Dimitri, you can absolutely see not necessarily an annoyed conversation that Eva's having with this individual, but not necessarily the best of buds either. But at least she seems to know this kindred. Your sire looks over to you and sort of gives you a nod down. Just
Yeah, I'll immediately come over, bow my head. Look on. Have some news if you have a moment to step aside. I would like to share what I found.
yes, 3 of you. Don't let anyone get too close to this conversation, please. And Carter, you see Carter sort of stand and sort of awkwardly not knowing to do with his hands, and sort of begins to sit on the outskirts and just sort of waits with his couple of books. And you see him actually eventually sort of slink off to his room, or at least in the direction of the safe havens down that hallway. Yes, what have you found for me as you guys begin to walk off just a couple of steps?
Tonight we struck a blow against the anarchs. They were having some sort of get together, what they call the rant and rave, and we went and we it was ridiculous. No security. They had no one checking the gates. No one patrolling. It was easy. So we kind of blew it up a little bit, or a lot of bit.
He sort of chuckles and.
So is they were saying they're going to kill the Camarilla. So we strike first blow in war.
And does the prince know that you are making these sort of explosive entrances, as it were?
No. That's why I talked to you first. Will you hear it from me?
Maybe don't say on starting a turf war between the Camarilla on their behalf to these anarchs. As you probably know, we're not in a very Camarilla safe place. I mean, right now we are, yes, but as far as the state goes in this area, it's very, very much anarchs. So I'm assuming they probably outnumber us at least 15 to 1.
Less now.
Well, if you did your job right, as I believe you probably have, it might be. That being said, maybe wait to be asked before sort of giving that information away to the prince.
As you wish.
Someone decided to come back home yesterday, by the way. As I believe it might be the kindred that resided at our new domain prior to us moving in.
Really?
He did take out one of our mortal guards, but
I hope it wasn't Henry. I really liked him.
I don't know any of their names. I'm going to be very straightforward with you. Um,
I would not expect you to.
that being said, he did pay for his life, and his head is, well, practically mounted to my wall.
I apologize that I was not there to assist.
We both know where I believe that you may be seen very soon. As what I worried about, I believe, is beginning to happen. A voice is beginning to tremble. Just a whisper. A very distant whisper, but from what I was told from the elders who I'm back home, this was the very beginning stages. Dimitri, I need you to be ready.
I will be.
Because when I'm gone, I want you to demand praxis of that domain.
As you wish.
Very good. Now, go back to your coterie. I have much to discuss with your brothers.
I'll just kind of go back over by Carter and sit down.
Yeah.
What are you reading, anyways?
As you step back, he did make his way back in, but instead of a stack of books, he just has a single book, probably about 2 or 3 inches thick, very old hardback leather book, not labeled with any sort of title pages or anything like that on the front or back of it. Something from the prince's personal library that he's gave me as research to do.
Sounds very important. Don't lose that book.
I haven't lost one yet, and I will definitely not be losing this one. Eva, you're...
What kind of motion?
Oh, sorry.
Back over. If she hasn't come back over, I'd be like, come on.
Eva, as sort of Dimitri begins to sort of wave you over, your sire sort of looks over your coterie. How are they?
Very interesting, but fine.
If either one of them step out of line too much, let me know. I'll make sure it's straightened out.
Yep, you're always the first person I go to.
She rolls her eyes and sort of shakes her head. Go.
Alright, I'll turn around and head towards Dimitri and Carter.
Eva begins to... Not Eva, excuse me. Your sire begins to sort of begin to mingle with other individuals. And you guys can see sort of kindred from what you'd assume probably multiple different clans. You can definitely see a couple of Nosferatu who are not exactly hiding what they are. You can see a couple of kindred that have, almost it seems like a couple of them have, it's like instead of extremely hairy arms, it's more of padded fur. Some have horns that are growing out of their head. Some of their noses are a little bit tinier, and you almost can see like very small whiskers coming out of it. But they are all those individuals who have the more of animalistic qualities are very well dressed. Probably the best well dressed out of everyone here, besides maybe Dimitri, the individual Dimitri was off having a little conversation with. That being said, everyone is relatively putting a best foot forward in their dress, whether it's more up to date and current with like almost like a tuxedo sort of look, or something that's more aged a little bit more, where it's more of like jackets and vest, shirt, all the whole nine, pins, sort of a wide spread of individuals before the door begins to crack open a little bit, and you see the prince's assistant walk out and begin to whisper to the woman that Eva was just having a conversation with. Dimitri, Eva has arrived next to you as Carter as well.
Okay, so what's the story?
Wow, you don't beat around the bush, do you?
No. I have no time to fuck around.
Or find out for that matter. No, I guess you would have time for that because you're trying to ask questions. Please proceed.
Like that story, and I point to my sire.
Oh, no. I don't care about this. I mean about the fire and explosion.
Oh, that story, the one that we just came from.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
one.
All right. Well, I don't know. There was a lot of weird stuff happening that I've never seen before. Kind of grossed me out, even though I'm a kindred. It's still. Ugh. Anyway, I like blood and all that stuff, but not the way that they do it. Anyway, this Baron, whatever that means, his name's Joshua, and he was basically saying that we are trying to control this area more, and they didn't want that to happen. Hence why they want to kill us. But I wasn't sure who was around the truck when we were there, so I didn't want to say anything, especially since you had somebody they had to throw dirt at. No need. I don't know, it kind of seemed like there was about 50 to 60 kindred in there. I'm not sure how many thin bloods. I don't know if Carter could figure that out in the short amount of time that we were there. But
No, I could not. The only way I'd be be able to extremely tell is if we had either the sun or tasting every single individual's blood inside of there, and that seems counterintuitive.
well, I wasn't sure if there was a book way to do it, so
Not quite.
I
Fair
did
enough.
get lots of license plate numbers. I took lots of photos, so I'll
Oh,
reach
good.
out to some people I know, see if maybe we can get some names.
Yeah, you have all the people. So that's
Well,
good
when
we can do it.
you operate criminal enterprise, you get to you know where to move, right?
What is happening?
Don't ask.
Russian mafia. It's no big deal.
Carter's eyes just go wide a little bit and looks over to Eva like,
And you're shocked? Did you see what just blew up back there?
I mean, yeah, but you hear about it and you see it in the movies, but you never really see it in action.
You just lived it.
I mean, I see that now.
My hope is that these people be posting photos on social media during daytime, which might give us tip if they're thin blood. People use their phones like crazy.
Right, and I should mention, I mean, we're all under the same page that we should not be discussing coterie activity via the phone, online, or anything like that, right? Like, we're all on the same page with this.
Oh, I pull out a couple burners. Here, take these. Just throw them away when you're done. It's okay.
Perfect. But still, I mean, this is how Prague got found. This is right.
That's why they're one use. You use, talk, throw.
That sounds
It's
very
brand new number.
very expensive, but yes, okay, that also could work.
And it's cheap. It's like 14.50. It's good.
He sort of looks at his pockets. 14.50.
For you, I do deal $20.
I can't afford that.
So what do we say about the explosion?
I say we don't.
Is where's it going to get back? Is big explosion? Maybe lots of people die. I don't know.
Do we know if
I don't. We
people
don't
died?
volunteer thing. I will. I hope. It was a lot of work.
Ah.
But we shouldn't bring it up. But if it does come up, what do we say?
Well, we better come up with a good story.
Exactly.
Not
What
just,
happened? A cigarette, gas leak.
I like
There
the
was a big
cigarette.
propane tank. His farm. They have propane tanks on farm.
Ah, yeah, that is quite possibly a very good explanation.
Carter, you're going to be the one who tells it. Okay?
Yeah, sure. I can do that.
I can't lie to my prince.
That
But you can.
Carter just gives you a very low, just.
Come
I
on,
like
I'll buy
Carter.
you a
You
plate
can't
of
say
hot
no.
wings.
I don't. I don't understand. Yeah, and shortly after um, the assistant sort of breaks away. Everyone, please, right this way. The prince has a word.
I look at Dimitri and Carter. Is that us or just them over there?
I think it's all of us.
Oh, I don't want to go.
As you sort of have this minute conversation, you begin to see the entire room begins to go into the princess sanctuary.
Now we're gonna have to stand at the back.
I'll just stand in the lobby.
As you continue forward, you guys see a very small pine box sitting in the middle of the prince's office. Inside of it, you see there is someone inside with a stake going straight through them. Wits plus awareness, Dimitri, please.
Ready?
I'll lean over to Carter and say, "Well, that's not weird."
Have you ever been staked?
No.
Only one.
Only one. Even with the one, you recognize the suit and the kindred wearing it as James Anston.
He's too bad. He was a nice guy.
Wait, you knew that guy?
Oh yes. We shared a few drinks.
And he's staked. And
He had to do with it's a long story. But now I have to have painting commissioned. And now I got to go talk to somebody and tell them sorry. He's too bad. He was a nice guy.
Carter just looks to Eva. It's like, what?
Why are you always so shocked?
That he's getting a painting commission and has to go tell someone sorry because someone is in a box? At the same point, the prince turns from his seat facing back to you, as all the very dramatic ways. He turns the seat around and stands up. Welcome. Many of you are either high-ranking in your clan, individuals that I've sought counsel for many, many, many years, or new blood that is making a name for themselves within my domain. Today, We test your loyalty to the tower. You see, this kindred did not abide by our tenets. He did not hold responsibility for what his child has done. And now I'm to hear that his child is not only given a kindred the final death, but is also rooting to become Baron not too far from here. And that cannot stand. And points to you, Dimitri. Please, come forward.
I'll step up.
And he sort of claps. As he claps, you guys hear the door open from behind you as a person walking in wearing a sort of like a just a very tight brown leather jacket, human, or at least humanoid looking, trying to stop his feet and trying to stop from being pushed. As eventually you can see this person sort of crack their neck and lift them just straight up off the ground and begin to carry this individual by just the back of their collar. And plats it down. You're new here. And from what I can tell, based off what your sire has discussed with me, you get to make a choice. What you think that the Camarilla would do. You can either choose to execute this man, or give the final death. And he goes ahead and takes the bag off of the person's head that was being dragged in. Eva, you recognize this person. It was the person that was talking to Hunter, asking for you.
Am I permitted to ask questions, my prince?
You get one.
Is James worthy of redemption?
You've been a part of the Camarilla for how long?
Over 5 decades.
What do you believe are... What do you believe? Does he? Or does this mortal deserve it more?
In my mind, the kindred are sacred. They are worth 1,000 of these. I hate to see any of them destroyed. But if he is not worthy of redemption, if you are afraid that he will betray your trust again in the future, that he will violate our tenets, then he does not deserve redemption. But I do not know him well. If you say he is not worthy of redemption, then he dies. If you think that there is a chance that he can be saved, and that he can be of use to you, my prince, that he can redeem himself, then I would gladly kill 1,000 mortals in exchange for his life.
If you were me, make your decision. And he goes ahead and provides you a very sharp looking machete.
Okay. I'll turn to James, kind of look at him.
How much do you know? I mean, you've been a vampire, or you've been a kindred for over 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you've had your sense of stakings and knowledge of what that does. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
going into torpor where it knocks you unconscious and you sort of wake up X amount of time later. No, being
Right.
staked just means you're rather pretty much in sleep paralysis. You can feel, hear, understand fully what's going on, but you are just unable to move.
Mm-hmm.
His eyes are open, but you can see that it didn't look like he doesn't have a face of horror or anything on it. He had a face of understanding. And that is
Mm-hmm.
currently what you see before you as you look over to James.
Okay. I'm sorry, my friend. Cut his head off.
For James?
Yep.
Okay. And looking over to after you do that, he goes ahead and holds requests the blade.
Oh, hand it back to him.
You're dismissed. And he looks over to you, Eva. Forward.
I'll take steps forward.
He goes ahead, turns the hilt towards you. This one's on me.
What do you mean?
Well, this guy was snooping around your domain, your haven. Aren't you just a little curious of who that is?
I'm gonna act like I didn't know.
Okay. Go ahead and roll manipulation plus subterfuge. How many successes? Sorry.
3. Sorry.
3. Oh, wait, you're so good at that. Hello. Well done. With 3. Oh. Well, as you are, I can tell by your body language that you're unaware. This man is one of two things. Both need to be destroyed. He's either a hunter, or even worse, a member of the Inquisition.
And he was at my place.
Indeed, he was. He was, for the lack of a better word, picked up. And you can see this man, he has got bruises all over his face. His face is heavily swollen. Yes, it seems to have known. He at least knew where you were staying.
I kind of remember back to when I called my sire.
Mhm.
And just I don't say anything about it.
Okay.
But, well, I thank you for picking him up, per se.
And I thank you for ridding him from this existence. And he extends the blade further towards you.
I'll grab it.
Okay.
How far away is he?
Who,
Or is he right in front?
the prince?
The
Or the guy
no.
the guy who was walking through? He's
Yeah.
probably about 2 steps to your left.
Okay, I'll kind of just like look at the blade for a little bit and then swing around and slash to my left.
A single slash, and you see him just sort of drop. And you can see a couple of kindred sort of irk forward a little bit, but then maintain themselves as this smell of blood begins to fill the room, as blood begins to pool under his body. He goes ahead. The prince reaches for the blade.
I'll hand it back.
You are dismissed. Now, these 2 people did what was right, did what we needed. Not only for me and my domain, but on behalf of the Ivory Tower. And I know not many of you would have done the same. They made the difficult choices, they thought it through. And these are our new blood. Make sure you do not act like either of these 2, and he points to James and the individual that you slashed up. But be more like them, when he points to you, Dimitri, and to Eva. Everyone watch your backs. If the Inquisition is around, or hunters, that means a lot of danger. Very, very close to home. And those 2 groups of people, or maybe they could even be the same. They do not care if you're Anarch. They do not care if you're Camarilla. They will cut you. They will burn you. They will destroy you all the same. And I do not want to see kindred in my domain fall. Because like Dimitri so eloquently put, we are worth at least 1,000 mortals. So let's not make sure some mortals aren't putting us down. This is not Prague. We will not stand for it. This is not Boston. We will not stand for it. This is not Germany. We will not stand for it. You are all dismissed. Enjoy what's left of your night. Dimitri, he walks over and sort of stares at your book for a moment. And then sits down at his desk. The rest of the room begins to... the rest of the room begins to disperse out. Eva, your sire, looks at you, eyes very wide, and continues to walk out. Dimitri, your sire, looks over to you, a little smirk on his face, nods down, and then continues out without showing much more than that.
Don't get to drink.
Right. The 3 of your brothers sort of smile, but try to maintain control as they leave. Carter's just eyes wide in the back. And he sort of just strains up a little bit and begins to sort of walk out into the main lobby, leaving the prince's chamber. The Primogen that's on both sides of the prince stay there for a moment while everyone else begins to leave. And then they begin to sort of huddle around the desk while the person who was carrying that mortal in plops it on top of James's body puts the top of the casket on, and you guys begin to hear swings of a hammer as he's nailing the casket shut. The rest of you are able to go ahead and are beginning to get ushered out, very politely nonetheless, by the assistant. As she goes ahead and shuts the doors to the prince's chambers and begins to sit down at her own desk. She looks towards both of you. I don't know if I would have been able to do that, quite honestly. Take that as you will. She begins to plot down and start going through her large book, or not large, but a decent sized ledger that she's manually just sort of writing in. She closes the ledger, begins to put it sort of like double armed, like holding onto a book that you enjoy dearly, and begins to walk through the set of double doors as you exit into the main area off to the right that says employee only. She walks through that set of double doors, and for the first time you guys can sort of see beyond what's that double door, and it is just a couple more of those security doors. And you can see a large glass door at the very end of it, and through that glass door you see a bunch of computers, what looks like just cases just standing from floor to ceiling, and on the front of it is just a security. But the door begins to shut behind. It sounds, as you can tell, now pressured, like a pressurized door, and she disappears behind. You guys, a lot of the Kindred are now beginning to group up and begin to head into either the elevator or going down to the bar to have a drink. And you can see most of the ones that sort of urge forward a little bit at the slashing that Eva did are the ones that are typically heading towards the bar. So maybe relieve some of that hunger. Now you guys have sort of made yourself off into your own little cluster.
This was not what I expected.
Yeah, definitely not how I thought it was going to go down.
Yeah. But I do need a drink if you want to join me.
I'll join you.
As long as they have something in a bag, I will be absolutely right there.
Do you want fresh or freshly squeezed? I know what he takes.
It doesn't matter.
It does. I mean, some people like their food to squirm.
Carter cringes a little bit. That's too much work.
It really doesn't matter to me.
All right. Well, I like mine to squirm, so I'm getting fresh.
Okay. Now I know.
The group of you begin to head towards the bar. And Eva, I don't believe you had the pleasure of being on this portion of the sanctuary before. But there is this very nice looking sort of wooden bar that has a bunch of stools that go all the way around this square. And then on the exterior portion of the wall are these private booths that are completely just sealed by curtains. But you can see a lot of people sort of go up to the bar, have a conversation with the bartender behind it, and a few moments later, she will go ahead and nod and sort of point to the booth, and the couple will go to the booth. And as you sort of get closer to the bar, you begin to see a individual walking in, just a normal-looking person walking into the booth. So other people, you can see that they are, well, it almost looks like a keg, and sort of spraying in into a glass, just a very thick red liquid into it. Surprise! It's probably blood that they're putting into the glass. You see Carter go, "Ooh, huh, nice," and he goes in and sort of goes up to the bar, I will take one of those, please. And the bartender sort of nods. Dimitri, are you wanting to go to the bar for a drink, or you want to go into one of the private rooms?
Well, we can go to the room, just relax. It's cool. So I need something fresh.
Any preference, sir?
It's something that likes to hurt people. I promise to be a good boy this time.
It almost looks like she was getting ready to say something, as this is the one that had your previous request. I hope so. I hope so.
I promise. It was just it tastes so good.
Right, right. And for you, ma'am. Really, anything of your preference, we can help.
What? Why do you like them fresh, Dimitri?
I like it when they fight. I like them to be afraid. I like to see the look of fear in their eyes.
That's interesting. I've never
I
heard of
want
that.
them to know that death is waiting, and all it takes is me to drink just a little too much.
Okay, I don't want that.
We got
Just-
people who are adored people. We can have people that are tired, people that are a little bit of everything. It's really your preference. If you're more a person who likes it in a glass, we can also do that. Carter reaches up and sort of like raises his.
I think somebody who's not expecting it. So maybe somebody who's tired or sleeping. Probably be the best.
We will make sure that you guys both have your individuals ready for you. Looks over to you, Dimitri. Your guests will be bringing a small glass with them. And looks over to you, Eva. Yours will be bringing over a small plate. That way you're able to decide which is which for your preference. And they go ahead and send you over to one of the rather larger booths. And you guys sort of begin to head that way to one of the private booths. And inside it is very, I mean, Dimitri, you've seen a couple of these on the inside. They are very lavish, very well decorated. There's fine art on the hanging up on the back side. Very nice leather booths for both sides, and it's more of like, instead of like a restaurant booth where it's just two sides and a table, it's more of like just like a rounded area where it's just like a booth that's just with no table. There's a couple of side tables on each side of it, but overall it is just a rather more of a lounging area compared to a private lounge area compared to like a restaurant booth, so to say. But as soon as you get in, the bartender that it shows you the way will go ahead and close the curtain for you guys. Carter takes a small drink. I thought you said he was a nice guy,
He was a nice guy.
but you took off his head.
He violated the traditions. You cannot do this. He did not take care of his offspring. His offspring sired other offspring, creating probably thin bloods. I'd be willing to bet. Since he's, jockeying for a baron position. Whatever the hell that nonsense means.
I was looking up more of like the Anarch Society, and sort of decided, or was able to like look through, and Baron for them is like a prince for us, someone that overall is in charge of a certain area. It typically isn't as large or has obviously a whole lot of meaning compared to a prince who has the Camarilla backing to them. But in the world of Anarchs, it's sort of the same thing, which is sort of ironic because they don't want to be ruled, but then they also have barons who rule over people. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But that being said, the baron is like that. They also have a couple, I guess, enforcer type people who sort of go and do similar to what like a hand would for the prints. It's all sort of correlated. It's very, very strange how they are the Unbound. But and he takes another long step. But they're really no different than us, than besides wanting to not be a part of a larger and safer organization.
Everyone wears shackles of their own making.
That was surprisingly deep, and I was not expecting that, Dimitri. Not expecting that. At this point, you do see the two individuals, one carrying an empty glass, and the other one carrying a very small plate.
Would you like to eat first? I'm afraid that if that one sees what I do to this one, they won't go to sleep.
Carter sort of sits and curls up and just...
Sure. Probably.
The... Almost... Without even having to say anything, the one that you ordered sort of lays down and just closes their eyes. And you can see like a little jumping movements, like right as someone that's very close to falling asleep. Ready there, laying on the side of, or laying on the long cushion.
Well, I kind of look at Dimitri. They're not totally asleep yet, and I don't feel comfortable doing that yet. So, I don't know what we're gonna do here.
We can wait. He's patient. Isn't this right?
Very much so. And he's just very obedient, where it almost looks like these individuals are meant for this reason. They know what they're getting into. Eva, they have sort of the same understanding and obedience that Hunter has.
So can you like do some of your, mumbo jumbo, make him go to sleep, make her go to sleep, or?
I don't have that mumbo jumbo, but I've never
Maybe
done
like
it before because
stroke
it's
their
new.
hair or something, or sing them a song.
I don't sing.
Carter goes, really? No lullaby? Okay.
I can sing her songs in Russian, but I don't know if that will be very peaceful.
You sort of see him continue further, fall asleep, until you just hear, and finally just start snoring.
Okay. So I am going to feed off their neck.
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I'm not gonna like drain them.
Yeah, I'll say you're at one hunger, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just enough to just like get past that part.
Yep. So the only way to go down to 0 would be to fully drink until they die. But you're able to social feed, as they would call it, where they go ahead and you just take enough. Do you close the wound and everything? Just a little, like, to close the wound?
Yes.
And as far as this person's aware, it was a very pleasant dream that they had. You were able to quietly walk over, sink your fangs in, lick the wound to close it afterwards, and they are just still dead asleep, for lack of better words. But nonetheless, you're able to go ahead. It's still sitting at one hunger, but you're at least able to partake with the rest of the group. And Carter's not really... Obviously, he's still there, but minding his own business, trying not to be awkward and stare, and just sort of drinking and just being part of this coterie. Dimitri, on the other hand, you just sort of see... at this point, you see Eva begin to start feeding and take care of what she needs to take care of to finish that process. your person's just sort of standing there.
I'll stand up and I'll take off my leather jacket,
Mhm.
kind of throw it over the back, and then I'll take off my shirt and throw it over the back and kind of crack my neck.
Hmm.
I noticed something. You don't seem like you're afraid. I'll be right in his face.
His eyes go absolutely just wide.
You should be.
Yes.
I'm gonna activate Daunt.
Oh, absolutely. Um, and I believe a no roll is required if it is.
That's a free one.
Yep.
So
And I don't think that like there's no like roll to do like any sort of that just adds your. Is that your potency to? Or not potency.
presence rating
Presence.
to any intimidation rolls.
Yeah, go ahead and roll charisma plus intimidation for me, and add your presence. Good old Daunt.
That would be 3 successes.
Ooh. The person like jumps back a little, jumps back and is definitely frightened, and sort of just looking around at the other people who are in here. You can see it, the fight or flight response is sort of beginning to kick on, but not taking him. Either one of them. You can see his eyes are wide, his pupils are dilated, just ready for something. But you see him not doing either one, fight or flight. But you can see that he's actively scared.
Okay. Yeah, I'll at that point grab him and I'll bring my teeth down like right above his collarbone. There'll be like a crunch as the bone snaps.
Ah! And then it sort of just goes into a very peaceful, and it becomes serendipitous for him, where he's just begins to. I mean, it went from a stared and tense as Dimitri locks his jaw into him, begins to loosen up, and just sort of stands there and just waits and waits. Dimitri, how much do you lower your hunger by, if any?
Oh, I don't have any hunger.
Okay. Just for kicks and giggles.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
I'm
of
a
course.
vampire. I gotta eat people. That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people go a little too far, They taste a little too good, and they just...
Yeah, but not this guy.
All right, and do you close the wound as well?
Eh.
Okay. It just goes ahead, and they sort of wake up out of their stupor after Dimitri feeds, and sort of moves their shoulder around a little bit. Definitely, you can still see the fang marks from Dimitri, and he's like grabs onto it to like try to put pressure on it, and then sort of bows to you, Dimitri. And even this is something very like it was a very aggressive feed, and he sort of just the guy bowed to him afterwards, and sort of like anything else I can be of service for.
I might use you again.
Understood. And he sort of excuses himself out of the room.
Grab a towel and wipe my face and chest from the blood that's splattered all over it.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm always messy. That's why I took off shirt.
Carter just yeah. Is he going to be okay?
He'll be fine.
Okay.
They patch him up. It's alright.
And do we need to wake this guy up? Or Eve, are you done? That was rude of me. I should have asked. Are you done with this?
I am done, but we do not need to wake them up.
He's fine.
They'll come get him. I'm assuming. I've never been here before, and I've never done it like this. But
Yeah, this is agreed one of my first social feeds, and it stresses me out just a tiny bit.
Well, we have club like this all over Russia. We used to supply blood dolls. It's fine. They like it. It's good.
If
you
you
say so.
took the words right out of my mouth, Eva, right out of my mouth. So I was surprised that meeting wasn't more about what we were doing. Anyone else sort of feel that way as well?
A little bit. Do you think that the news got back to him?
I don't think so yet. My sire wasn't tapped in. I had to let him know what happened.
And oh, that was the guy you talked to. That was your. I don't mean to be a pry. I apologize if that was rude.
He's
but
fine. No, he's
uh,
fine.
I mean, to be fair, is the prince going to know? I mean, they don't exactly know that was. There's nothing correlation unless they find a kindred. But I mean, I don't know if that will come back on us and not be just some mortals messing around. I mean, I think we left anything signing that it was us, right? I mean, it was just explosion, gas. I mean,
It's something a mortal could have done. And with hunters on the prowl, or the Inquisition.
yeah, I thought those were like ghost stories that sires used to tell to have
That's why I'm here.
hunters.
Hit my...
Oh, Inquisition.
Oh, Inquisition, yes.
I am sorry for your loss. I'm assuming there was at least a few.
Many.
Oh,
Many. Lost good people, brothers and sisters. It is all right. We're rebuilding. We're here now.
and the prince just allowed that without any sort of issue. Was your sire or one of you prince over there, or?
My sire is a man who knows how to get things done.
I again, I apologize if it's too forward. I just like to know. I like information. I figured we feed it in front of each other. We can at least, find out what other creepy crawlies are going around.
So this hunter, he come to your house?
Yes. I wasn't sure who he was, but
How you think he got onto you?
I'm not 100% sure.
Did you leave a mess? Huh?
No. No.
Carter chuckles a little bit at it. Do we think that we were? I mean, maybe we were followed. I mean, I guess what do we know? I guess you didn't seem to know when he showed up at your place. I mean, maybe the prince has some information on if it was after we were all met. I mean, I'm just worried that we may have a tail on us. If it is, I figured if it's probably more of a hunter, right? I mean, Inquisition seems very large, grand, like wipe out. It seems weird that one Inquisition would go after a single kindred, no?
I think I would agree with that. I'm assuming it was a hunter. That's why I got rid of him.
It's too bad you could not have interrogated him first.
I agree.
Yeah. I didn't really want to push my luck in front of the prince, though. I feel like I do that too much.
Carter smiles a little bit. So you do play the game. Welcome to the pieces. Welcome to the chessboard, friend. Welcome to the chessboard.
I just roll my eyes at Carter.
She looks like she could punch really hard. I don't think I'd make her mad.
Well, I hope that we're all chummy people here, right? We don't need to throw punches.
It depends. You can push friendship only so far.
Well, that's fair. I don't know if it was. Well. If it's not too much to ask, what is everyone's capabilities if we're going to be a coterie for some time, at least from what the prince has given us? I would just maybe it might be good to know what everyone can do. Speaking of being able to punch hard, I don't know if that's too personal, but I was just maybe thinking that tactics might help a little.
Sure, you first.
Carter smiles a little bit. I dabble in some magic of our people. As some might say, I mean, I'm not sure how much you know of other kindred clans, but I'm a Tremere. Um, blood sorcery, if you will.
Yeah, that means nothing to me.
I can do all sorts of things with people's blood, and some of it is helpful for us, and some of it is not so helpful for the other people.
It's good to know.
Eh.
Can you do this to Kindred?
I can.
It's good to know.
It takes a little bit more effort, obviously, as most of our powers typically do, to kindred versus a mortal, but it is still technically possible. Hell, I mean, some even work on lupas.
So in addition to this, what else can you do?
Oh, well, I mean, as you also saw, I can cloud some memory, if you will.
You were very good at this.
See, you know.
It's very good.
He smiles a little bit, shakes his head. But other than that, as you also, I mean, I've shown you this before. I was able to see what may not be seen. Other than that, that's really the three big things that I can do. I like to observe. I went. How about you, Dimitri?
You know, I can be scary. You saw.
Mm-hmm.
I and make people forget like you. You saw.
Yes, very good at that, by the way. Very good at it. One of us is lying, but it's not me.
You know, bullets not bother me so much. You know, say it's kind of like bees.
Very, very interesting.
You know, and that's if I don't get out of the way of them before they hit me.
You're quick then.
A little bit. Also, you know, I'm kind of a lethal weapon.
A jack of all trades, if you will. A little bit of
Yeah.
everyone. That's interesting. Not many kindred can be so diversified.
I had lots of good people teach me lots of things.
Huh. And they sort of looks over towards you, Eva, and saving the best for last.
Well, thanks. I mean, I'll fight anybody. If you need defense, can do that.
Can we talk about how fast you are? That was
Yes, I have.
very
I have
quick.
that capability. I also can go invisible, but only if I stay still. I can't move.
That is very terrifying. I just looks over to Dimitri. Ah, well.
You have to teach me how to do this.
Sure. Yeah. We can trade some of these,
Trading cards.
whatever you want to call them, training things. I don't know. However you train.
Can you block bullets with your body? Eh?
No.
Mm.
Okay, I teach you that. You teach me how to turn invisible. I teach you how to stop bullets with your body
Sounds
in a
great.
good way.
Yeah, yes.
Carter looks and goes, I
don't
can
want
do
the bad
that?
It's in a good way. Yes.
Oh, gotcha. Good to know. I'm going to make a little bit of a assumption. Bruja, I'm assuming, looking over to Eva.
Yes. As I just learned to myself.
I don't mean again, I'm saying this a lot, but I don't mean. Are you new to this lifestyle? Like within the last couple of years?
Yes.
Holy shit! Really? Oh, this is so cool.
Um.
It's like a little baby.
You could say that. The learning process.
So, in I for myself is very much of a shut-in for it. Similar to you, where I don't really care about kindred policies unless I'm being demanded by my prince. Um, is that what you mean, or like you were embraced not too long ago, or you're just very exclusive to it, so you may not know all the ins and outs? I just want to make sure I'm understanding properly.
All of the above.
Oh, okay, yes.
It's a lot of responsibility you and me have. To
Ye-
make sure she grows up right, goes to
yeah.
college, gets all the does all the right things.
Yes, but I also I don't mean this to be rude, especially if you're close to your sire. It also means we could also have her sire piggybacking us in everything we do because, as we saw James and what happens. I also am what if the prince thinks this is our responsibility? I mean, we didn't sire her, but maybe that's why we're part of the coterie, to sort of teach her the ropes.
I don't know. She seems pretty smart on her own.
I mean, she got more information than we did at the barn, that's for sure.
Well, I had one job. I was doing me. What the hell were you doing?
Mm.
Running
Trying
around
to
licking people?
trying. I no. No.
It was a good joke, you know.
He just sort of shakes his head and finishes off his drink and puts it on the side table. Now, we know where they were, at least, these anarchs. Do we... What should we... I guess what's our next move here? Do we need to look maybe for them further? Or you said you left a message for someone. Is that our
No.
next... I mean, I know you...
I
I
don't-
mean, you maybe not left a message, but you left a message with intimidation. You left an imprint, maybe is the better term, on someone. Is that our next step?
I think it would be good that someone meet with him, talk with him, but I don't think we do it face to face. Right now, I have the benefit of anonymity with him. He does not know me. He has not seen my face. He does not know my voice either. They don't talk like this when I talk to him.
My concern is if the hunters. I mean, they found Eva pretty simply. And I only say that because with you being so new, I don't know how loose you were with the information of what we are and what we do.
Well, kindred can learn, can they not?
No, I'm not saying they can't. I apologize if that's how it came across. I'm just saying if we better know how they're learning of where we are, maybe we can use that as a way to avoid them to interfere. Because if we have to fight off hunters slash anarchs, that's one of what is an issue by itself. But throw them together, that's signing up to end inside that box, just like James did.
So speaking as a criminal, you can go home. Your home is burned. It's no good now. You can go home. He's been to your home. He knows where you live. Chances are he's got notes somewhere. If he was me, he'd have email dead drop. People be able to see all the information he collecting just in case he get caught. So your home is burnt. You have to find somewhere else to live. I'm sorry. All your shit is gone. You have to leave it.
Do we think the Moros are that clever?
Look, this is what I would do. I'm
No, I
hunting. With Miles, I found his home. I break into his home. I steal his shit. I put everything back. I leave him note with phone number, letting him know someone in your home take your shit. Call me. I scare shit out of man. You give up everything. He know nothing about me. And then there he is. We plant phone on him. Now he feels like I'm everywhere. I'm always watching him. I know where he is all the time. So he's terrified. And now he's afraid. This big explosion. Everything is going to be his fault. I own him. If I think this way, chances are, if they're any good, they think this way.
so I guess it also might raise the next question. Is that something that we need to investigate further then? Do we maybe need to find out how they're finding us? I mean, it also could mean a boon with the prince, and that goes a very long way if we can solve that sort of problem head on. It's not exactly what we were signed up here to do. And I don't think I'm personally not from here. I was just really recently relocated, seen with Dimitri. I mean, and Eva is not exactly part of this society until as of late.
Maybe we can get his address, the place where they picked him up. He must have hotel. Maybe we find computer. Maybe there's some information if they haven't already got their hands on it.
Without getting too personal, is your haven next to a lot of roads? Is it next to a hotel? Is it how accessible is your surroundings to your haven, or is it well guarded? Is it secluded? That tells a lot of information on maybe how the hunter is finding us.
Well, I have a suspicion. I could do some investigation of that on my own.
Okay.
As for having a lot of places around me, yeah, it's pretty busy.
So if it's pretty busy, maybe someone saw him, maybe seen what they were driving, maybe see if they were talking with their people.
Yes. I have security, so I could go back and look at everything, or I
Ooh.
could ask.
Security like physical security or like electronic security?
Both.
Oh.
Can you access remotely?
Some of it I can, some of it I can't, but I have somebody that could send me the stuff that I cannot do remotely.
Yeah, I just feel like going home is a bad idea.
Well, I won't.
Do we
at least
have
for a while.
do we all want to stay here, or do we have a haven that we could fall back to? I mean, I'm personally in the process of relocating into a haven myself, so I'm staying here.
You can come to Terre Haute. It's under construction, but he's going. We have place to sleep.
I mean, if it's secure enough that you believe.
If my sire will stay there, then it is definitely secure enough for you two.
What do you say, Eva?
Sounds good to me for now.
I got to
Alright.
ditch the wheels, though. If anybody cut the plate, we
Yeah.
need to get a new car.
I
You
have
good
more
at picking
cars.
locks?
I can give you a car.
Give us.
I
You
just
like-
can't drive.
Are you like
just
rolling in
don't.
the money?
Do you have a driver, or do we need to stop by your haven to pick up said vehicle?
I do have a driver.
Carter sort of looks over to Dimitri. What?
She's definitely loaded. Security, driver. Let me guess, he's also butler, yes?
Just a
I didn't say no.
Carter
He's
sort of
butler.
Carter points. And as you guys sort of begin to grab your belongings from the location here, from either staying the night, last night, or just your stop by through, more or less, that is where we'll go ahead and wrap up tonight's episode. Each one of you can go ahead and take on a whole point of experience. And everyone in Chatland, thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Really do appreciate it. I really enjoyed this episode. There was a lot of early action up front and some character building, some learning that's happening upon people of the group, and sort of, for some of us, exactly what the kind of prince that you guys have there in Indianapolis is. But thank you guys so much for coming to hang out. Really do appreciate it. We will be live again next week on the math is hard. I believe that's the 2nd. No, it is the 1st. Excuse me. On February 1st. So make sure you guys are here for that. It's going to be a very good time. I believe we will have our full cast back. So be here for it. And again, a huge shout out to Dimitri for this fantastic new overlay that we have, as well as the starting soon. So massive shout out for that. And again, guys, we will see you guys next week for another episode of Indy by Night, a Vampire the Masquerade Tale. So thank you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.